Hello gang, Jeff back this time tackling the 2019 vinyl tag. I was trying to remember if I did the tag last year and I don't believe I did. I think I did it in 2017, but I'm not 100% sure, so I thought I would tackle it this time around for probably 2 or 3 weeks already now. These videos have been out and about, and there have been some excellent responses to them. For those of you not familiar with the vinyl tag, essentially it's 20 questions, and you just go through and answer them. So I thought the questions were really good this year. Some, of course, better than others, but I am going to try to answer all of them. There's one I'm not answering, and I'll explain shortly. So without further ado, because these do proceed to or have a tendency to drag on, and I don't want it to go over long. So number one, best find of 2018. 2018 was a very good year for me, so it was very difficult to pick one, so I didn't. I picked three. Coltrane's Ascension, an original Headhunters from Herbie, and this is an original mono pressing of UK, the Rolling Stones, Out of Our Heads. Three best finds for 2018. The second question is the one that I really didn't want to answer, and the question is, give a shout out or shout outs to other VC channels. I thought about this one for a little bit, and really the reason why I'm not a fan of this particular question, not that I'm not a fan of shout outs in general, because I am, but in a scenario like this where you're just answering questions and all of a sudden you get one, shout outs. The purpose of a shout out is to acknowledge somebody, and the vinyl community, as we all know, has a variety, hundreds of people with good channels, good friendly people, and a shout out is essentially an acknowledgement of that. And I think to simply answer a question like this, where give a shout out or two to people, I think more important than the shout outs themselves is the reality of eliminating so many more people. And so in an effort to not eliminate people, I'm not going to give shout outs. In this question, you will see a type of shout out later on, and that's an example of my preference of what a shout out should be. So I'll take a pass for now. Question number 3. What holes are you looking to fill in your collection? The Ramones. I don't have a single still Ramones record in my collection in any format. I've never listened to a Ramones album. I think I've stated that in a video once before, so I would like to pick up some of their stuff. I'm familiar with their hits, but just don't have any of their albums. A cheap album that is really good. There are lots, but this is the first one that came to my head. City to City. This is Jerry Rafferty. Excellent record. Your favorite side project album? This really for me was a no-brainer. Probably the greatest side project of artists ever assembled. Traveling Wilburys. You know who they are. You know the albums. Volume 1, Volume 3. Number 6. A song. In this case, I'm going to show an album because there are several songs on this album that fall in this category from an artist that is uncharacteristic of their catalog. And while this particular artist has several albums that are uncharacteristic of his main stuff in his main catalog, I'm going with this one because it's my favorite of the uncharacteristic albums, and that is Trans by Neil Young. And on this album, probably about half of the songs he uses a vocoder, which sort of gives his voice sort of an electronic sound. I love this album. There are a lot of people that don't like this album for that reason, but I think it's Excellent. Where am I? Question number 7. The last album that you purchased. I think I got this last week. Maybe the week before. Klaus Schulze, Moon Dawn. A great album with a bad cover. There are many. This is probably one of the ones that jump out right away for me. And this is Not Too Late, Out of Focus. This particular album was actually recorded in 1974 and it was shelved until 2010. But it's jazzy prog rock. Excellent stuff. But the cover. A bad album with a great cover. And I've shown this before. It has a history of being known as a bad album. But the cover is just outstanding. I mean, you look at the guys that are playing on there, but it's not a horrible album. It's playable. Like, you can certainly listen through. It's just an album to have. I mean, with these guys on here. But I love that Union Jack car. Is that a Rolls? I don't even know. Rolls Royce? I don't know. Car guys or gals. Great cover. A blues album. Born in 1892 in Mississippi. One of the classics, Mississippi John Hurt. And this is volume 1 of a legacy. Classic country blues. Okay, next one, number 11, an Earworm Song. I've got it queued up. An Earworm Song is essentially something that just gets in your head, sticks in your head, you can't get it out. That's a good song, right? Gets in your head and you can't get it out. That's the essence of a good song, and there literally are thousands. But today, for me, and I'll probably, even with that little clip, I might get trashed with the police on YouTube, but Phantom of the Opera, Overture, just a classic, and you'll be humming it. I hope you do now too. Historically important artist. Guess? Yep. Elvis, and I'm showing this particular album. This is his second album. My favorite of Elvis's 50s records. But this is, he is, I mean, they call him the king for a reason, right? Wasn't it John Lennon that said, before Elvis there was nothing, or something to that effect? Influenced the greats, you know, the Stones, Robert Plant, the Beatles, all from him. Next question is an album that you own because of your parents. Not this particular album per se, but certainly this artist. I've mentioned a few times before in my videos that my dad was a big influence on me growing up musically, and he still is. So I could go with anything really classic rock that I grew up on that you know, I always listened to at home. But this is one particular one I bought because I know that he had a couple of albums from Tommy James and the Shondells. This, of course, is the greatest hits. This is the only album of Tommy James and the Shondells that I have, but specifically him because of my dad. Best dollar bin find. Dollar bins around here essentially don't exist. There are thrift stores, but the cheapest albums in thrift stores are, I think they're either $1.99 or $2.99 now. There aren't really many dollar bins, $1. My big local record store has a 3 for $10 bin, but that's essentially it. So this was one, and I don't even remember where I got it. was probably $1, maybe $2, maybe $3, but like I say, around here, $1, $2, $3. Those are essentially the lowest amount of dollars you can spend on a record. And this was fantastic condition. This is Phantasmagoria by Curved Air and prog rock. This is a great album. But to find this for cheap and in this condition, there is a little punch out up in the corner, but great find. Favorite double album, I've shown this before. My favorite album of all time, Stones' Exile on Main Street. I would have to say not selling anyone by the pound. Lamb Lies Down on Broadway would probably be a close second. An album that you learned of in the VC. This is going back to the shout out question, because I believe that when you show an album like the Cosmic Jokers and you can say to the vinyl community, the reason why I bought this year was because of Zeke the Vinyl Geek. And this is the appreciation that I like to show when you give a shout out, is because a person specifically shows something or says something or mentions something to you, and I think in appreciation directly for something specific, that's a shout out. So Zach, again, great record. And folks, if you're not familiar with this, excellent stuff. It's really only 2 songs. Side 1, it's a track called Galactic Joke, and side 2, a track called Cosmic Joy. 23 and 20 minutes in length. Excellent, spacey. Okay, we're getting near the end here now. A 10-inch record, sure, I've only got one, and I just bought it last year. This was an RSD release. This is Moths by Jethro Tull. A few people have shown that in their RSD videos from earlier last year. A 7-inch record, pick one of many. I realized I really don't show very many Beatles, and maybe one of these days I'll go through my Beatle collection over here, but I don't know. People still like the Beatles. I do. All My Lovin' and This Boy. The disc is original, the sleeve is not. It's the original sleeve's an all black capital sleeve with capital white font banner across the top. Great shape. Okay. And one more to go. Is that right? Yeah. No. 2 more to go. Favorite album to fall asleep to. So typically I don't fall asleep to music. Actually, I almost never fall asleep to music. But if I was, I would pick something that's ambient in nature. And I think that's probably common for a lot of people. And even though I know this is called the vinyl tags and you should be showing records, this is actually a CD that I bought, and I purposefully purchased it on CD because the album is literally one song, and the name of the song is the same as the album, and this is from Brian Eno, and it's called Reflection. And the reason why I purchased the CD of this as opposed to the LP is because, like I say, it's only one song. The whole album is one song, and I think it's about an hour. It's just under an hour or just over an hour. And an album as this that is ambient in nature, I didn't want to have it in an LP format, which would break sort of the song as it was meant to be, as one song. So I elected to go with the CD just so I would have it straight through and not have to get up and flip it over and sort of lose the sort of the ambience of the album, which you will. So Brian Eno, Reflection. I think this came out in 2017. Anyways, it's not jumping out at me. 2016, I'm sorry. Reflection. And the last question is a favorite VC experience or advice for those contemplating to make a video. I'm going to go with the experience. There's a lot of advice going around with this question, and I think a lot of it are the same. Be yourself, do this, do that. 2 important things that I would say are lighting and sound. If people can't see and they can't hear you, they're going to turn you off. So both are very important. For me, my favorite VC experience, and this is going back a few years now, would have to be meetups, and I've had two. The very first one that I had, I met Brian Costello, who many, if not all of you guys know from Ireland. He came over to Canada on a visit to Toronto, and I met up with him, Bobby Gass, and Fishman, or Raoul, who is no longer a member in the VC. But we had a fantastic day. And one of the great things about the VC, as we all know and learn, is that it's full of great people. And having the opportunity to go back and forth with people online is one thing, but when you get to have an opportunity to arrange meeting people in person, it's amazing. So awesome stuff. Thanks for watching VC. Hope you're all doing well, and I'll talk to you soon.